The last speaker is Dr. C. Tanuja, Piclostomal voriconazole for recalcitrant fungal keratitis.
Good morning, everyone. Today, my paper presentation is on intrastomal oriconazole for recalcitrant fungal keratitis, a prospective study. My author is Dr. C. Sandhya Madam, and myself, the presenting author, Dr. C. Tanuja. Microbial keratitis is a common vision-threatening disease occurring in all parts of the world. Fungal keratitis is common infectious keratitis seen in South India, accounting for about 44%. Intrastomal oriconazole proved to be an effective and adjuvant treatment modality in selected patients as it delivers high intracorneal drug concentration at the site of infection. Aim of the present study is to study the effectiveness of intrastomal oriconazole in recalcitrant fungal keratitis with objectives to study the demographic profile of fungal keratitis, to study the clinico-microbiological correlation of fungal keratitis, to analyze the effectiveness of intrastomal oriconazole in recalcitrant fungal keratitis as an adjuvant to topical drugs, and to study the complications associated with intrastomal oriconazole in fungal keratitis. It is a prospective interventional study conducted between November 2019 to October 2020 at Sri Venkateshwara Medical College, SVRRGGH, Tirupati. All patients with smear or culture positive fungal keratitis of more than 2 mm in size with deep stromal infiltrate and endothelial plaque and presence of peripheral clear cornea were included in the study. All patients with fungal keratitis not responding to topical antifungal drugs for at least 7 to 14 days. All patients of fungal keratitis who are willing to participate in the study and who have given written and informed consent were included in the study. Patients with total corneal ulcer and patients with impending corneal perforation and fungal keratitis associated with endophthalmitis were excluded from the study. Oriconazole is a triazole antifungal agent structurally related to fluconazole with a fluoropyrimidine group. Procedure is done under peribulbar anesthesia with the bevel down position using a 30 gauge needle 0.05 to 0.1 mm, that is around 50 micrograms per 0.1 ml, is injected around the lesion into the corneal stroma aided doses. Cornea is used as a guide in assessing the area of cornea covered. When the desired amount of hydration is achieved, the plunger is withdrawn slightly as to ensure discontinuation of the capillary column and to prevent back leakage of the drug. Study included 30 eyes of 30 patients with fungal corneal ulcer with or without hypopyon and endothelial plaque. The depth of the corneal involvement in all these cases was assessed by slit lamp examination and anterior segment OCT. The age of the patients in the study ranged from 25 years to 77 years, with the mean being of 53 years. Majority of the patients were males, that is about 56.7%. Most of the patients were average 30%, which is followed by farmers and homemakers. Nearly three-fourths of the patients had trauma with vegetative matter, that is 76.7%, which is followed by topical usage and chronic dacrocystitis and lag of thymus. More than half of the patients had left eye involvement and almost half of the subject had central corneal involvement, while 33.3% had paracentral involvement. 83% of patients had hypopyon as predominant finding, followed by endothelial plaques and satellite lesions. 50% of patients had fusarium as causative organism, which is followed by aspergillus and candida species. The mean size of ulcer was 10 mm square and infiltrate was 23 mm square. The mean best corrected visual acuity showed improvement after 3 months of intervention. In conclusion, the most common isolated pathogen was fusarium, and most of them were agricultural laborers and had history of trauma with vegetative matter. Intrastromal oriconazole has a definitive role in the management of recalcitrant fungal keratitis as an adjuvant to topical therapy with a therapeutic success rate of 76%. The most common age group involved was 4th to 6th decade with male predominance. No procedure-related complications were noted in the study. Good clinical and microbiological correlation of fungal corneal ulcers were seen. Intrastomal oriconazole was given as an adjuvant to topical therapy, so effectiveness of intrastomal oriconazole per se cannot be assessed in the present study. Thank you.
Keratoplasty are these patients were treated any of these patients have gone to the CTFP or not? 7 patients have gone for the diabetic penetrating hypertension. Even after 3 injections of intrastomal oriconazole, the ulcer was progressed in those patients because they have systemic complications like uncontrolled diabetes. One patient has bag of fungus and the 3 have chronic diabetes. So they underwent the therapeutic penetrating hypertension. Out of 30, 23 have resolved ulcer with intrastomal oriconazole. What was the visual prognosis? After 3 months of follow, there was 2 lines of sentence, 2 lines of visual application. 2 lines of improvement. All patients are mixed. Depends on location of the. Yes, ma'am. Depends on location. If the central, not that much of improvement.
Did you use only one drug or a combination of multiple drugs?
First, we have given a topical antifungal drugs. Even with the antifungal drugs, it does not show any improvement within 7 to 14 days. Then we went for intrastomal oriconazole.
What antifungals?
First, we have started with 5% metamycin topical agent. Then we have added intrastomal oriconazole 50 micrograms per 0.1 doses.
Only 2 drugs? Only 2 drugs? Only 2?
Yes.
Did you use any systemic antifungal?
No, sir. Did not have any indication for systemic antifungal. Because endophthalmitis steroid is an indication for antifungal. Here we have excluded those cases.
You mentioned endothelial plaque was there, right? So according to Greenbaum classification, endothelial plaque itself comes into diagnosis of endophthalmitis. It's called focal endophthalmitis. So that can be considered as systemic endophthalmitis.
In your cases, once you have treated, we thought you have completely subsided. Anything has a recurrence in those patients?
23 patients is any recurrence. They already have scar formation. No recurrence was seen in 23 patients. Only 7 patients of therapeutic treatment. Even 23 has
You thought that it is completely subsided. You are discharging your sampling off, you put off patient on the antibiotic, you stop it. But okay, they start again.
we had given topical antifungal after 2 weeks of resolution also we have continued topical antifungal.
How long?
2 weeks of resolution of ulcers.
Okay. Suppose then you stop it. Will they develop in the recurrence?
No, sir.
No. If at all it develops, what is the cause?
Maybe deep-seated corneal ulcer. Deep-seated corneal ulcer.
No, the drug what we are using is actually fungistatic. They are not.
Any systemic manifestations, corneal manifestations. This perhaps maybe doesn't develop recurrence.
Sir wants to tell you the message that what drug which you are using, it's a fungistatic, not fungicidal. So there is every chance of recurrence. So that's what he meant. And it would be ideal to use for 4 weeks, not 2 weeks. Antifungal has to be continued for at least 4 weeks. Thank you.